You want to know how monsters are made, kid? Not in caves, not in shadows, not in some laboratory dripping with madness and lightning. Monsters are made in living rooms, in classrooms, in relationships, in families. Monsters are made in bright places by people who swear they're good. You don't get born a monster. You get trained into becoming one, slowly, quietly, repeatedly. Not with fists, with disappointment. Not with knives, with betrayal. Not with torture, with neglect. A monster is never created in one moment. It's built over years, brick by brick, cut by cut, lie by lie, until one day something snaps and the world points at him and says, "Look at that beast." But they never ask who fed it. You think monsters are made by hate? No! Hate comes later. Monsters are made by love given to the wrong people, loyalty wasted on the ungrateful, apologies forced out of the innocent. You ever look at someone and think, what happened to you? I'll tell you what happened. They trusted. They cared. They tried. And the world chewed them up and had the audacity to blame them for bleeding. Monsters are just former humans who ran out of reasons to stay soft. You want to know the recipe? Step 1. Give someone a good heart. Step 2. Let life crush it slowly. Step 3. Watch them smile through the pain until the smile cracks. And step 4, when they finally stop caring, call them the problem. You ever notice how the kindest people turn into the coldest? How the most patient become the most distant? How the ones who loved the deepest now feel nothing? That's not personality change. That's emotional evolution. You don't wake up one morning and decide to be a monster. You just get tired of being the prey, because that's what the world really hates, kid. Not monsters, men who stop being victims. People love you when you're broken, manageable, apologetic. But the moment you stop begging to be understood, the moment you stop bleeding for others, the moment you stop being soft, suddenly you're dangerous. You want to know how monsters are made? By teaching a man that no matter how gentle he is, they'll still blame him when the knife goes in. Monsters aren't born. They're built by disappointment, sharpened by betrayal, and finished by silence. And the twisted part? The ones who created the monster will always cry the loudest when they finally meet what they made. You ever notice how the world loves to play innocent? It breaks someone for years, then acts shocked when he stops playing nice. They poke the lion, starve the wolf, cage the dragon. And when it finally growls, they scream, "See, we told you he was dangerous." Monsters aren't born violent. They're provoked into survival. They don't start off wanting power. They just get tired of being powerless. The truth is, there's always a moment, a final straw, where the good man dies and the monster wakes up. Not with rage, but with clarity. That's the moment he realizes, I was never loved. I was used. I was never respected. I was tolerated. I was never safe. I was controlled. And once a man sees the truth, there's no going back. You can't unlearn betrayal. You can't unfeel abandonment. You can't unsee the faces of the people who watched you drown and said, "You'll be fine." That's when the switch flips. He stops explaining himself, stops defending himself, stops trying to prove he's good. He just withdraws the softness, and the world panics. Because it was never his kindness they valued. It was his obedience. That's when they call him cold, heartless, toxic, dangerous. Of course he's dangerous. You turned him into someone who finally has nothing left to lose. See, A man becomes a monster when he realizes he was playing by rules that were never meant to protect him. He learns that silence isn't peace, it's suffocation. That forgiveness isn't healing, it's permission. That love without respect is just self-destruction. So he does the unthinkable. He chooses himself. And that's the moment the world screams. He changed. No, he didn't change. He returned to the version of himself before the world broke him. But this time, he brought armor. You want to know the real horror? The monster isn't the villain. The monster is the survivor of everything that tried to kill him. He's not evil. He's the final result of being pushed too far for too long by people who thought he would never snap. And when he finally stands up, not with anger, but with detachment, they realize something terrifying. They can't hurt him anymore because the man they could hurt is gone. Buried under every lie, every disrespect, every betrayal. What's left isn't a monster. It's a man with boundaries, a man with memory, a man who no longer bleeds when you stab him with guilt. And the world hates that kind of man because he can't be controlled. So you want to know how monsters are made? Take a man with a heart, break it repeatedly, tell him it's his fault, and then act surprised when he starts using the pieces as weapons. That's not evil, that's evolution.